Alright, ladies and gents, what we're about to do is we're about to take our outline, which should get finished, and go ahead and turn it into a paper. So let me do some doctoring to this outline, and the one thing that we want to obviously start with in our paper is our grabber. Sometimes that's hard to do if you don't have a clear picture of what your paper should be, so you may want to come back to this, but an important note here is that you do need to have a frame. This can't be a quote in a sentence all by itself. You need to start your sentence and then put your quote in and then roll. So here's an example. According to Madame de Staël, Napoleon's favorite expression was, "Men should be persuaded by force," and this comes from the textbook Ellis on page 28. Now, that's obviously not a great grabber for us, so if we're working on our outline, we're going to backspace this, and I'm going to go to my notes. So we'll go and open our sample notes in our drive, and out of the background essay, let's see, citizens of a state or empire, and that being a citizen meant not only meeting certain responsibilities but also enjoying certain rights. Okay, so just kind of this basic idea of citizenship might be a good place to start. The balance between rights and responsibilities have been called the social contract theory of citizenship. This might be a good one. Inactive citizens were beasts. This also could be a good one. If we come down here, the one I think that I'm going to choose is that of the old oligarch. It is the poor who mans the fleet and brought the state her power. So let's go ahead and copy this. Control C. We'll go back to our outline, and we're going to go Control V. Alright, now obviously the font is a little bit jacked up on that. So what we want to do here is we want to go no bold. We want to go Times New Roman, and we want to go 12-point font. It's important to change the font in your paper so that you don't get caught copying and pasting. Although copy and paste is a good tool, it's just a good idea to make sure that you don't get caught in that way, because it makes you look lazy. However, this thing needs a frame, so let's get to it. The old oligarch points out that in Athens, comma, it is the poor who mans the fleet and brought the state her power. Now, if we go back to our notes guide, we're going to figure out how to cite this. It should be Old Oligarch, paragraph 1, or if you went with the directions that Mr. Gadberry gave, it would be document B, paragraph 1. So either way is fine in this essay. Remember, MLA doesn't really make room for worksheets that are put together in packets, so this is practice for the real world, so you can go either way. I'm going to go the old oligarch, PR period 1, boom, and the period goes at the end. Now what we want to do is obviously create the setting. Let's rebold that so we can get clear on it. Include 2 to 3 fun facts about the prompt. These are going to come from your background essay, and you're probably going to want to make sure that you have the who, what, when, where, and why. So let's take a few out of here. Let's see. Citizenship is correlated to the social contract theory. I like that. The balance between rights and responsibilities is what's called the social contract theory of citizenship. In Athens, citizenship was more focused on responsibilities. Aristotle proclaimed inactive citizens to be beasts. Making the polis better is simply what good citizens did in Athens. Conversely, Roman citizens were judged on how they acted towards their families, neighbors, and property. Athens and Rome are two completely different countries. Rome with 45 million in population, Athens with 300,000. So here's some key stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this whole thing right here. Citizenship is correlated to the social contract theory. So I'm going to take that, And let's go ahead and just grab the whole thing here, and we'll deal with that as it comes in our paragraph. So Control C. Let's go back to our note guide. Here we go. We're going to create the setting. Control V. Holy smokes, it went crazy. So we're going to need to cut this out. Control X space. And that goes obviously at the end. We're going to need to get rid of these bullet points. So this goes Control V right like that. So let's make this a little more clear. Citizenship is correlated to the social contract theory, comma. The balance between and responsibilities, rights and responsibilities has been called the social contract theory of citizenship, the DBQ project. Paragraph 2. Here's where my period goes. Then what we want to do is put a link between this. So let's see. There is a contract between citizens and government. It seems clear that people willingly enter this contract. Alright, so let's see. We're going to cut this. Control X. We're going to move it to the end. Control V. Let's stick a space in here. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. And we're going to start out talking about Athens. In Athens, citizenship was more focused on responsibilities. Aristotle proclaimed, inactive citizens were beasts. Okay, so that's a direct quote. So that obviously needs the DBQ paragraph 3. So it goes right after there. So we'll go DBQ, Control C, Control V, DBQ project paragraph 3. This obviously tells you it comes from the background document, and it encompasses all of that above. So we'll stick our period there. Making the polis better is simply what good citizens do in Athens. Now this is the same quotation again, and in the same paragraph. So this is obviously a summary, and it gets a PAR period 3. So then we go down here, and instead of letting all this run together and being completely plagiarized out of there, what we want to do is we want to explain what's going on here. In Athens, it was argued, I'm going to put an interjection in here, like the United States that people, check that, citizens should work to make the state better, period. So then we're working to paragraph 4, Control X, put it at the end, Control V. This comes from paragraph 4. Roman citizens were judged on how they acted towards their families, neighbors, and property. So then this doesn't make sense as we read these two sentences together, so we're going to say conversely. Here's a one-word transition inside my paper. Romans should still be capitalized. Roman citizens were judged, and this comes from the DBQ project paragraph 4. The next thing is Athens and Rome are two completely different countries. Rome with this and that. So then we're going to take this, whoa, wild and crazy, Control X, and 2 spaces. Athens and Rome are two completely different countries. Period. It could be said comparing Athens to Rome was like comparing a flea to an elephant. So then we're going to go Control V, paste our citation, and we're going to hit period. That takes care of that. Now what we need to do is restate the question. So let us go ahead and do that. When we restate the question, we're going to want to be Times New Roman, 12-point font, and we're going to simply say, this begs the question, which system of citizenship provided the best setting for creating government and providing for citizens. Now notice what I tried to do here is I tried to get the essence of the restatement of the question. Instead of saying citizenship in Athens and Rome, which was the better system, tried to say this begs the question, boom, which system of citizenship provided the best setting for creating government and providing for citizens. This obviously needs some work here, but what I'm trying to get at is a definition of the better system. In my mind, we need to provide, or a government needs to provide for citizens. So that's kind of what I'm trying to set up here in my essay, and that's how I'm going to restate the question. So if it is a question, then in fact it needs to be a question, and then it's the claim that comes next. So let's go and get our claim. Our claim should be right off of our notes T-chart that we did. Claim, Rome is the better system because more people can become citizens of Rome. Rome's system focuses on being a good family member, and Rome ranks citizens to motivate people to live right. So I'm going to pause here and I'll get that typed up and then we'll go. Okay, got that typed up, and I went ahead and highlighted my claim because it has my roadmap in it. Provided citizenship to more people, focused on being a good family member, and Rome motivated citizens to live right using a ranking system. These are going to be what my 3 paragraphs are going to be about. So if we go down here, let's go ahead and look at this. Alright, so what I've done here is I've already put in my mini claim. Rome is a better citizenship system than Athens because it provided citizenship to more people. Now, the nice thing about this is that I can go ahead and copy this, because we're going to Control C, and we can drop this into our second mini claim, Control V, and we go back up here to our roadmap, focused on being a good family member. So Rome is a better citizenship system than Athens because it focused its citizens on being good family members. Okay, and then we can go down here to mini claim 3, and we can Control V. Rome is a better citizenship system. Go back up to our claim because it motivated citizens to live right. And again, these are all my words, and this is my argument, so it doesn't require a source after any of these. We'll go back to body paragraph 1. We have some evidences. We're looking for a direct quote here, so let's go back to our chart that we put together to help us. Rome held about 15% of the world's population. I don't know if that's the one I want to lead off with. I think maybe the more powerful quote here is our founder Romulus, and we're going to grab this, Control C, and we'll go back to our outline. So here we go, and we want to throw that in here, Control V. That's in there. So we need to change the font, 12 Times New, and the next thing that needs to happen is, obviously I forgot to change the font on that, so we're going to go 12 Times New, there it is. This needs a frame, so let's see, some and actually who said this? I think this was document C. So if we go back to our notes, let's scroll down here to document C. We can find out who said it. Emperor Claudius. So that creates our frame. The Emperor Claudius points out, comma, our founder Romulus was so wise that he fought as enemies and then hailed as fellow citizens several nations on the very same day. Need an end quotation here. And document C, paragraph 2. So there's our citation, and here's our frame, and we got where we're going. So then explain how the quote supports the mini claim. This is where you come in. I'm going to say something to the effect of, Rome was smart. Let's see. The Roman emperors and Senate were smart enough to realize conquered people are easier to rule over if they can become a part of your governmental system. This was supported by the Republic because many people did not have to travel. Each area could be represented in the Senate by a few. Now, as I'm writing this, one of the things that I interjected here, representing the Senate by a few, was from actually document F. And anytime you kind of run into this, you've already done the research, you already know the stuff. So represented in the Senate by a few. So that kind of here needs to be cited technically. So let's go back to our sample notes, scroll down to document D, document F. 300 men, senators, served for life and inherited their seats. So there's not a direct citation there, but clearly have referenced to that compared to the picture in document E. So that's kind of a combination of the two things because I'm making the connection between the two. I think, in fact, it can be my idea. So let's go ahead and roll from there with a period. All right. So then evidence 2, what information from a credible source? Let's see, you got a problem there. Travel and wants a semicolon. We'll take it. What information from a credible source supports your mini claim and claim? So let's go back to our notes, our T-chart. Rome extends citizenship in increments and for different purposes, i.e. military services. Document C, paragraph 3 and 5. So let's go ahead and copy that. Control C. We're going to put it into our paper, or our outline rather. Control V. We're going to fix the font. And then we're going to move on. How does this evidence support the mini claim in the face of other arguments? So, some would argue that Rome was not the better system. This is clearly refuted as Rome not only conquered others, but did not subject them, rather used them in defense of the empire which the new citizens were a part of. Okay. So as you can see, we're entertaining the other side of the coin here. So this is what's going to move us to a 5 here. Whenever you refute other arguments or acknowledge that there are other arguments out there, it adds validity to your claim. So then, how do all the evidence prove the mini-claim and claim? So let's talk about that. Again, this is going to be our information, so we're just going to go ahead and type it here. Romans were smart enough, referencing the wise quote above, to include conquered people in their governmental system, which reduced the possibility of revolt in their conquered additions to the empire. Okay. Alright, so then we're going to want to transition. So right here we've been talking about conquered people and their government, and we need to move to focus on being good family members. So Romans ranked their new citizens on their ability to be solid family members. So here we talked about including conquered peoples, new citizens, going to family members. There's our transition. Here's an example, obviously, for paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 can be run similarly. Should come right out of that document. Paragraph 3 can be yours on your own. I'll include this with the Monday directions, and hopefully we can watch this in class with headphones and ask any questions of the discussion board and start practicing how it is that we're to use the videos to help us do what we need to do. So thank you for your time, and sorry that this one took so long. I'll do some editing and add some music to make it a little bit better, and things will be nice and smooth tomorrow. Alright, so that takes care of that. Let me show you the discussion board real quick. When you're on Blackboard, if you're logged in, you click on the discussion board and there will be a link for week 10 questions. Click on week 10 and you're good to go. This is an option that is not available for regular ed students, only for flipped class instruction. But again, the video is important for regular ed students to get what they missed and or clarify any problems if they're working on homework at home.